Hi everyone, it's Debbie Ann. I am back with a couple of Christmas journal sets, so I'm going to go over each one. Just going to move my coffee out of the way. So we will start with this one, and what I did for the cover was I used some wallpaper on the outside and some single-sided cardstock from a Christmas paper pad on the inside. On the cover here, the little birdie card is from some printables that I have in my shops, both on Etsy and on the website. And this one is from Christmas Miscellany, is what the set is called. And I did some further distressing on it. I found it a bit too shiny looking for this particular cover. So I just used some sandpaper, kind of scuffed it a bit, and then went over it with the walnut stain Tim Holtz Distress ink. And then I did some stitching. This is some vintage lace behind it. And for the closure, I just used this trim, these are like organza rosettes. So on the closure I have a gorgeous little angel pin that's removable and it still works. So you could, keep this on the journal if you wanted, or you could actually wear this. It's wearable. So as I said, this is wallpaper, and then I did my vintage inked tape on the edges. And I did some stitching with a contrasting thread in my sewing machine. Along the edge here I've added just an assortment of lace on a few of the pages. Inside the cover I have an old Christmas time envelope that I just created a tuck spot with. And then some of these pages are from my Christmas collection called Yuletide Roses. I had not used this in a very long time, so I printed 6 image pages, and then 3 are in this one and 3 are in the other journal. So these combine well with pattern papers from an assortment of paper pads out there, because they are somewhat of the traditional colors, but with a splash of non-traditional colors, which is really what I wanted for these journals. I didn't want to go with the typical Christmas colors. So I did a lot of coffee staining in here as usual, and then there's some book pages of evergreens. On the little pockets, I added the die cuts, the old German scrap die cuts, because as you can see on some of these pages, they go really well with the roses that I had on the designs. So the lace was stitched on as well. Here's another page from that kit. This is a page from a book of trees. So it's very plain, other than the lace and these die cuts. I left it quite simple so that you can decorate it as you see fit. This is just a holiday envelope. Some music and doily. This is an old envelope with the top that opens up for tags and such. Pocket here, the other side of the envelope. pocket. And then I included a treat bag, and I have this gorgeous, really wide trim. It's like an embroidered type. So I made a band. So it's stitched here, but it's kind of a loose stitch, so if you wanted to take this apart and use it in a separate project, you could do that. So in here I included just an assortment of more modern and some vintage pieces. So here's just a blank greeting card. On the back here I've got some note paper, another old envelope. This one is from 1958, January 58, and there's just a typewritten letter inside. Some guest checks. A couple of these inventory tags. Some, these are like Project Life type cards, so you could use these to maybe put pictures on. Very old Russian postcards. Can't tell the dates. Some of the writing on here is hard to make out. Another one here. This is a copy of an old greeting card from the 30s. Really lovely imagery on there. Here's another one. And when I copied this, I did the distressing on the edge with my ruler that has the distressing edge on it. And then some more little Project Life cards here. This one says Believe, Peace, Joy, Noel, Christmas with the antlers. Some little embellishment cards. Thankful, Moments to Remember, Merry, Noel, Peace. And then I printed some postcards from my latest Christmas holiday postcard set. These are some really lovely colors on here. The backs are blank, so you can just journal on the back. Here's another one. This one here is a nice little Christmas or winter scene on it. And then these two are from the latest printable that is available over on Patreon. On this one I added the extra eyelet, an actual eyelet on it, and then some twine. So these are available on Patreon, and if you don't know what Patreon is, it's like a membership community. And I started in August, and it was so that I could bring back the garden club that I had a few years ago, which so many of you enjoyed and were asking if I was going to bring back. So I brought it back over on Patreon. That way you can choose the monthly membership level that you're comfortable with, and you can stay as long as you like. And when you join, you can have access to all kinds of rewards. So one of the rewards is a monthly printable, and it's available to everyone who starts at any of the levels there. And if you were to join now, you could actually access the past printables since the earlier months of the membership. And then the last thing in this little set is a little eco-dyed covered booklet, and it's simply a little add-on that I thought might be alright for the holiday season if you wanted to maybe, you know, have a little ongoing Christmas list or to-do list in your purse or something. This is simply an eco-dyed cover with some lace, And then on the inside I've got coffee dyed pages. So it's not a huge book, but you could have an ongoing list in there. So that's this one. And then again, I went with non-traditional colors for Christmas. The pin on here looks kind of like a snowflake, and it's a brooch, and it's wearable. It looks a little bit more vintage, a little bit more worn, but it's really pretty. On the card, I did the distressing as I did on the other one, and the embellishment. I think I forgot to show you the embellishment on the other one. And the lace on this one is more of a cream colored, but it's also antique lace. So I did the tape on here as well, and the paper on the inside is this gorgeous polka dot. So again, on the inside there's the envelope and the distressed vintage tape. This is a technique I showed in the summer. It's really simple. It's just alcohol ink on any tape that you have in the small dispensers. You just dab it on, and it just gives the tape a vintage look, the way it would when you have old papers with the tape that's aged. It gets all yellow and brown. So there's also pages in here from Yuletide Roses. This is one of them. And then some book pages. Coffee dyed paper. This one here with the lace, I added a layer of paper so that your papers in here, if you tuck them in, they'll be a little bit more secure than if it was just the lace. That's Dixie in the back. Somebody must be walking by. A holiday envelope and a pocket. Another one from the collection. This is lined paper. This is an old envelope from the 50s, and it opens up on the top. Some holiday music. Another pocket. This is gorgeous October afternoon paper from a holiday paper pad, an 8x8 pad that I've been hoarding. It's just too pretty. Some more lace. And another pocket there. That's the other side of the envelope. Another pocket. So I've got a similar goodie bag here, only in opposite colors. So this one has the reddish pink ribbon on there and a gold striped bag. And very similar goodies in this one. So these are more of the tags from the Patreon printable that I sent out for November. And again, I added a metal eyelet to the image. This one here is also very pretty. This is from the Christmas postcards in my shop. Love this. And these are all blank. A couple of vintage card reproductions with the torn edges there. Here's another one. And then these little cards, one says peace, Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Another one with the antlers. Another postcard from the Soviet Union. So I went with the roses again because of the Yuletide roses on the inside of the journal. Here's another Project Life card. A couple of the inventory tags. These are fun to embellish and such. Some guest checks. Note paper. These are fun. You can add to the pattern pages so you have an extra space for journaling. Very vintage envelope here from the late 50s. Typewritten letter from April 1958. Some more note paper. A old greeting card. Very cute. And then these little embellishment cards say joy, thankful, Noel, blessings, and believe. And then this little booklet also has the eco-dyed cover, and I chose the particular eco-dyed paper on these two little booklets because it has the leaves from a rose bush in my yard. So again, it goes with the Yuletide Roses collection. So this has this lace trim on there, and then just the blank coffee dyed paper. So the link to these in my Etsy shop will be below this video, as well as the images that I used in case you're interested in those. My next video will be to share some of the older journals that I've made over the years that I'm actually going to be listing for sale. It's time that I declutter my journal shelf, and these were some of the prototypes and some of the experiments that I did over the years, and I will be making them available for purchase. So this is just one of them here that I've added to the cover. This one here is another old favorite that I made. So I've added a few things to this one. This one here was also a fun project. So this one will be available. So I will be doing flip-throughs of what's available for purchase the next time. So thank you for watching. Bye.